Hey GenAI Black Belts, today I want to introduce you to someone who is my longtime friend, a GenAI consultant, and a GenAI Black Belt student, Ray Cox. He's going to share an exciting tool with us that might have an important spot in your library if you're building a lot of agents. My name is Tyler Small, and I am the original GenAI Black Belt. Welcome to the episode. First, I want to share a concept that will be very important to all of you who are building agentic workflows. When it comes to agentic workflows, I like to think of them in 3 degrees of complexity, because most of the tools we use are only powerful enough for simpler agents, and it's important to know the difference so that you're not overbuilding or underbuilding because you have the wrong tool. Most of us are familiar with tools that let us build the first degree of agentic workflows, single step, single agents. And this is what you get when you use Grok, Claude, Llama, or even when you build custom GPTs with OpenAI. You can only do so much with these because it does really well with only a few instructions. But if you give it more and more instructions, it gets more and more confused. Sort of like when you ask a kindergartner to clean up just 3 toys in their room. They might be able to do it. But if you ask them to clean the whole room all at once, then they can easily become confused and lost. If you have a bunch of steps, you might need the next degree of complexity, which is a multi-step single agent workflow. With these, you can give a separate set of instructions, configure different settings and integrations, and even choose a different model for each step. This enables each linear step to be completed by a special skill of an agent, so to speak. That's what Kindo does, as we'll see from Ray in a minute. Finally, if you have a really complex business problem, for example, you need to make a versatile chatbot that accomplishes several different tasks. This is where you actually need a multi-step, multi-agent workflow. And this might be an agent that can, for example, make phone calls to existing customers and act appropriately when it encounters a voicemail. Flux prompt and voice flow are good examples of these, and I'll be making more videos about those in the very near future. Now you know the 3 degrees of agentic workflows: single-step, single-agent workflows, multi-step single agents with one linear path they follow, like Kindo that we'll see in a minute, and multi-step, multi-agent workflows, which handle branching into specialized agents that each have multiple specialized skills, instructions, configurations, and integrations. So now to demonstrate a multi-step agent, here's Ray Cox with Strategy Cube.
Hello. Today I'm going to show you a 4-stage agent opportunity that would traditionally take anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks to do. We're going to do in a matter of minutes. So we're going to build an agent. So we're going to click on Agents, and we're going to create an agent. And we're going to create a workflow agent. Now this workflow agent we're going to call reply to an RFP, a request for proposal. This is something that a lot of companies have to do, especially if they're working with large government or medical or other entities. In this case, we're going to be working with the premise that a collection agency wants to work with a hospital. So we're going to add our first step, which will be an LLM step. In fact, all of them will be. These will all build on each other. We're going to keep the AI model Claude 3.5, and we're going to create a prompt. The prompt, I've already typed all these in. And we're just going to paste in here. Now, this prompt's going to have a little more oomph than many. First off, we're actually going to create some human input. We're going to add
Let me pause here. When I first saw this feature, I thought, what in the world is happening here? We don't just start typing in the middle of a paragraph. Let me explain what I learned from Ray earlier. When he clicks this little button down here, it helps us add a button that will look clean and ordinary when we're done. This text is just naming the button. We can call it anything we want.
We're going to add the questionnaire. We took a questionnaire of the client so we could utilize their specific content in this process. And we're going to add the RFP into this as well. Okay, let's add our second step. This time we want to do some reasoning, so we're going to use DeepSeek for that reasoning. And I'm going to add the prompt. Once you've written these prompts, which I typically write them in Word, then they go pretty quickly. This prompt doesn't require anything else, so we're going to save that. But it is the executive summary. Ultimately, that prompt is going to help us, that stage is going to help us determine if this is a good fit for us to even approach. Imagine the man hour saved by knowing ahead of time if this is even worth doing. Pretty awesome. Okay, we're going to do GPT-4o in this space. This, we're going to actually analyze the proposal and some of the details about it. And we're going to put some stuff into tables to make that easier. Okay, we'll save that one. And then for our last prompt, we're going to use Gemini 2.0. Okay, this is perhaps the most time-conserving part of everything. This is where we actually use the question, we actually address all the questions asked and we respond to them. So if anyone's done an RFP before, you know just how much time it takes to respond to all the questions. Well, we're going to do it for you. Okay, and then that is our agent. Now to run it, we'd simply go here and we would input our questionnaire, which is right here. That's the information we know about the person we're responding on behalf of. And then we're going to add the RFP here. And then we'll simply send. Now, I will tell you that it will take about 5 to 7 minutes for this RFP to process. So I've taken the liberty of creating the finished product, and I will just show it to you now. So this is what 3.5 did, Sonnet 3.5. It did a summary, an overview, the scope, evaluation criteria, and just its summary that represents a significant opportunity. Phase 2 is DeepSeek. You're actually going to see some of its thoughts on doing this particular RFP. And then you're going to see an executive summary, the pros and the cons of doing it, and a company fit assessment. So our strengths and considerations. And then the verdict, strong candidate if the requirements for MWBE can be met. So good to know. The next one is dealing about statistics. So you can see we've created a number of statistics based on what they're asking us to do and what we can expect to potentially be receiving here in income by working this content, and some of the areas where they're making their most money and factors influencing these options. Okay, and then we have our third stop where we're looking at answering. We're going to address each question. So here are all the questions, and so all the answers to these questions are in white. So you can see we have addressed every question. Just going to briefly go through them that they have asked. Now, Again, you want to consider yourself as an editor. You want to go through and make sure these answers are accurate, but it's so much easier to edit something than to have to create it all from scratch. So you can see and there's, again, lots of questions. There's lots of answers. You can see why I didn't want to run this and have you just patiently wait for it to get done. And at the end, we agreed to all the above. So we print it out, sign it, send it out, done. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thanks for joining us, Ray. I'll drop a link to Ray's LinkedIn, as well as a link to Kindo and to Ray's website in the description below. And thank you for watching. If you liked this video, give us a like and subscribe for more.